Hello and welcome to Mellon Fights episode 7. It is May 16th, 2022. I'm Drew.
I'm Tara.
And this is a sports and entertainment podcast. Very original idea.
Mm-hmm.
We're bringing it to you. A little recap. If people don't know. We are a brother-sister duo. I don't know that we say that very often, but we are a brother-sister duo, which maybe makes it unique. Now, I feel like there's not a lot of brothers and sisters that get along well enough to pod together. What do you think?
I agree. I think so. And we have a lot of the same interests.
Sure.
So that's unique.
Yeah. Well, I guess we might as well just start with it. We'll start with sports this week. We'll start with the NBA playoffs. As you guys know, we are a Milwaukee Bucks podcast, if
We're
you
the number
will,
one.
the unofficial,
the number one.
Yes. One Milwaukee
unofficial.
Bucks, but unofficial.
Yes,
but number one.
Mm-hmm.
So they, well, I guess, God, a lot happened since last week. It must have been. They played Wednesday. They played Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. So last we spoke, I think it must have been 1-1.
Yeah.
And it went to a game 7. And the Milwaukee Bucks did not come through.
We're actually doing my least favorite thing is after a loss from the Bucks, I don't like to look at sports. I don't like to talk about sports, not just Bucks, but any of my teams. I just want to have a dark day of no sports. Yeah. And now we're being forced to talk about it and entertain our fans.
Yeah, this is for you fucks. We don't want to talk about it. I did not watch the second game, which was even worse.
Oh my God.
Suns fans, I didn't even watch the second game. I was like, fuck, I'm not watching that shit. But that was, at least the Bucks put in it was a battle with a good team where the Suns just got destroyed, and guess what? They didn't win a championship last year. No. So they don't have that to live off of. We'd be like, at least we won the championship. We make a couple moves. We didn't have our second best player. We didn't have Middleton. So next year we come back, we run it back. Giannis works hard in the offseason, and we win another one, baby.
Exactly. They
Not
are
the Suns,
in a
though.
No. Oh my gosh, the Suns. That was an epic fall apart by that team. The fact that Luka had more points, not more, the same amount of points in the first half as the entire Suns team.
Yeah.
That's hard to come back from. And guess what? They did not.
Yeah, they didn't.
Mm-mm.
They didn't. Like I said, I turned it on. I had forgotten about it, and I turned it on, and they were down by 40 when I turned it on.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing. The Bucks lost by 28. It didn't feel like that. It was closer than that for most of the game. And then they just got blown out in the end of the second half of the third quarter into the fourth quarter. It was embarrassing, and we kind of skipped over there. It was embarrassing. I can't lie. I was embarrassed. I fucking hated it. It was bullshit. Giannis did his thing. He didn't play awesome in the second half. He kind of was exhausted, and he could kind of see what was happening. The role players on Milwaukee did not step up. They just didn't. That's all there was to it.
I was just thinking that it shows how the Milwaukee bench has no depth whatsoever, because our dudes were so exhausted, and it's who do you put in to give some of the starters some minutes?
How about any of those guys?
Bleak.
Honestly, how about any of those guys, bud? The guys weren't cutting it, and you got some guys, and it's a spark. You got to look for a spark at that point. A guy like Javon Carter, who played some minutes and played pretty good, played intense defense in those minutes. Couldn't see the court. What are we doing, bud? We brought in Serge Ibaka for what reason? Maybe he could have spelled someone. Maybe he could have been a spark. He could have got a couple fouls. Go get some fouls. These guys were shooting free. It was bullshit.
I
Like, I
know.
guess I'm angrier than I thought, but it was bullshit. Like, these guys were just getting free. Like, they were shooting at will. Like, bring in Serge Ibaka, and who cares if he has to foul him? Get a foul. Get a foul. Fouls aren't that
Right.
big of a deal, especially when it's Serge Ibaka and we don't need him at the end of the game.
Well, that's the thing. It was like the in-game coaching just was not good in the last game. I mean, when Grant Williams is scoring three after three after three and they're uncontested shots, it's like, man,
Yep.
we gotta switch it up a little bit
Yeah, at some
here.
point you have to can't let it happen. He was missing him early, and then he started hitting
Hmm.
him. Guess what? When he starts hitting him, you have to quit it.
Yeah.
And and they weren't hitting any shots. They just weren't.
No.
They weren't hitting any shots. So that's as much as I want to break it down because I'm irritated by it. I think it
I
was
know.
lack of depth, missing their second best player. Totally different series if they have Middleton. Obviously, that happens every year. Bucks won some series last year because the other guys there was guys missing from teams. It's how it goes. So I'm not going to get too, but I'm not down on the team as much as some people are. It was basically the same team as last year with a couple
Yeah.
role players changed up. Honestly, the Middleton being hurt isn't really what is really the big deal. But let's recap our picks. Let's recap our
Yeah.
picks. I didn't write down how many games. I don't think we got the amount of games right in any of them.
Mm-mm.
Maybe we did. I,
I don't think
um,
so.
the only one that I think one of us might have said Warriors in 6, which is what it
Oh,
was.
yeah. I might have.
I know we both picked the Warriors. I know we both picked the Bucks. I know we both picked the Heat. But there is one place we differed. And by the way, on that one, we're correct on the Heat, correct on the Warriors, incorrect on the Bucks. You did say sweep. I said Bucks in
I
5.
did.
It felt like it could have been Bucks in 5 at one point.
I
Uh,
know.
I mean, they were up. They were up. 2 games to 1, 3-1. No, it was 2-2 at one point. So, but you did pick the Mavericks in 6,
I did.
and you were kind of being hard on yourself there.
I know. Well,
After they were down 0-2.
so bad. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they started out terrible. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I shouldn't be allowed to make picks. But
Yeah.
hey, I just saw something in Luca where I'm like, this guy's gonna
Sure.
take his team to the promised land.
Sure. Yeah. Here's my thing, and it reminds me of the Atlanta team from last year. That Dallas team where they got one just stud that gets the job done, and then their role players aren't a bunch of just dumb bogus shooters.
Yeah.
They're like a bunch of there's athletes on the team. Like the Bucks have no athletes as role players. There's like shooters, a couple of white boys, George Hill, who's old and terrible, should never see the court, but he's under contract, I think, for another year.
Ooh, lucky us.
Lucky us. But where the Mavericks, the guys that are like they were kind of sneaky there for a while, and they got some nice draft picks, and it makes for nice role players. Like not like they're just kind of basketball players, and it makes a difference. And then Luka's a stud, he has backup. Along with that, his the other guys played good. I don't know. So yeah, kudos, flowers to you, Tara, for getting that right. Flowers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was nervous. I really was. But hey, when that Phoenix Sun team played so shitty, I knew I was in for a victory.
Yeah, it was bad. It's funny. Like, what do they do? They can't. I mean, they didn't have an excuse for that bullshit. Run that back? How do you run that back?
I mean, I think this was their best chance this year. Next year, people that were hurt are coming back. Like Denver's hopefully going to have their 2 guys back. Kawhi and Paul George will probably be back, and
they'll be hurt at some point again.
I know.
I have no faith in that. They're as bogus as that's as bogus as the Nets. Yeah, sure. Technically, they have a really excellent stacked team, but they never can be 100% there for each other. So
Yeah.
Until it happens, I don't count it. But yeah, it's basically true.
Isn't it
I
crazy
mean, Dallas
how
is Dallas is going to be better.
yeah, but isn't it crazy how Paul George turned 37 and all the games after that he played like shit and it's like,
Paul
"Oh wow.
George, Chris Paul,
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh god. Cut this. Cut this
S-
shit right now.
skill
Cut
set
it.
zero,
Cut it.
skill set
Cut it."
zero.
I was
Um,
thinking Paul George.
yeah, he
But
wasn't good
yes.
after that. He wasn't good at that. 37. Cat. Damn, cat's making weird noises, weirding me out. LeBron was still good after 37.
I know, but CP3 really just he fell off that cliff that people love to talk about.
Yeah, he was playing so good before that. Like game 2, he was like what, 14 for 14, something crazy like that,
Mhm.
and then just was terrible. I think they just upped their D on him. He's not that big of a dude, and it's easy kind of to shut him down if you really want to.
Yeah. It's crazy because I was watching Get Up this morning and Pat Beverly was on.
Yeah,
And like normally when they have old like current players on or even older players, they like tiptoe around stuff and they try not to be like controversial.
sure.
That is not
hmm
a Pat Bev thing to do.
No, that's not Pat Bev. Was he out? What was he out there saying? What sort of crazy shit did he drop?
He was basic because they were talking about Chris Paul and he was like, he's probably a top 10 point guard, and Greeny was like, oh, that might like offend some people, like most people would say top 2 ever, and he was like no, and he was basically saying how essentially he thinks he's overrated,
Yeah, I
um
agree.
and that he was lucky enough to be put on teams that afforded him to like try things, and he had freedoms that not everyone gets on teams.
Sell down, Pat.
And
Sell down, Pat. Chris Paul's an excellent. Listen, Chris Paul is an excellent point guard. He's just a little undersized. If he was bigger, like if he was Magic Johnson size, he'd be
yeah,
because he's so good at basketball. He just is a little small, and it hinders him sometimes.
right.
But what if
But it was
finish up with Pat said? Finish up with Pat said.
but then he so basically he was saying when I go like if we're playing the Suns and um if we're playing the Suns, I'm gonna go out and have like a nice steak and a glass of wine before and get to bed when I get to bed. When we're playing the Warriors, like I am gonna get to bed early and not take any personal calls because I gotta like prepare for stuff. Um, so
Sure.
he was just and Greeny's like, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but it sounds like you think CP3 is overrated. And he was like, no one's afraid of him. No one's afraid of him in this league. So, and he said that he should have fouled out in the game. And since he's on uh, commercials, he gets calls that Pat Bev would get
Dang.
flagrants on.
I'm gonna have to watch this later.
Yeah,
I'm
it
gonna have to
was
watch
super interesting.
I'm gonna have to watch the last Get Up when they show it. That's
Yeah, it
fucking
was
hilarious.
super interesting and funny, and what's crazy is Stephen A came on and like he wasn't screaming, so like he kind of Pat Bev neutralized him because I don't think
Sure.
like he would have loved being yelled at by Stephen A. So, but it was definitely worth a watch. Oh, Andy
Love
said
it.
he's the best defender outside of Giannis.
Oh, he thinks Giannis is the best.
Yeah, he said that the stats say that Giannis is the best, but he's right behind him, and he's only 6 feet tall. So imagine if he was Giannis's size.
I like it. I like
Yeah,
Pat
it
Bev.
was it was a really like
He's
fun
he's an interesting
segment.
cat.
Yeah, it wasn't
Like
like the
he's a,
usual talking heads like saying all the same things. Like it was interesting and like some actual conversation started from it.
is that a Pat conspiracy theory? Is that a
Hmm.
Patrick Beverly like dropping a little tidbit like, yo, hey, Milwaukee, bring Pat Beverly to town? Let Patrick Beverly come be your pit bull, like be your Tucker.
Maybe. But I think he
I,
just got a big contract. But I mean, he could be traded, I guess.
did he get a big contract with Minnesota?
Yeah, I think so. Because they talked about how he like got his contract.
Mm,
Wendy
he'd be
like
better off in.
congratulated him, and he's like, I don't. It's not about congratulations. I earned it. It's like Wendy was being
Yeah,
nice.
what a weirdo. What a weird line. What a weirdo. Yeah,
It was.
I think he'd be awesome on Milwaukee. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Like, like put him in that Wes Matthews spot. Here's the thing though: is we need some scoring.
Yeah.
That's why we need to be. We need to get him up. We need to find a new score. The wing move didn't work out. My favorite part about us talking about NBA first is like, I feel like most of the people that listen to us so far are our friends that aren't sports fans.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of them, but I don't know. I feel like we make sports. Let us know in our email.
We're still waiting for our first email.
We haven't got a first. Hey guys, not even. We didn't get a list of favorite moms. We didn't get a list of favorite what TV or movie fictional sports team we've been on. 0 emails from anybody. So I'm not even sure anyone's listened to the whole episode or even a second of an episode.
Well, Dad said he was going to email something, but then didn't. I'm like, sounds
well. That's right. The least surprising thing of all time.
I know.
You would never. You would never.
Never.
That's funny. So that can be our NBA talk. I feel like that was good NBA talk. We don't got to go into like, we're not going to break it all down. I think it was fun. Patrick Beverly thing I'll watch. Maybe other people should go look at the Patrick Beverly thing. It's a good place to start. I think maybe now I'll ask if there's anything you caught this week that you wanted to touch on. You got on your little paper there.
Ooh. Drew, I wrote down so much sports stuff, and I have grievances. I got 2 of them.
Yeah, that's fine. Grievances at the end. Whatever you got, just pick one. The one thing that most interested you.
Well, do you want to talk about my Rounders experience?
No, we're not going there yet.
Okay.
I wanted to see if there's anything you wanted to talk about.
I watched a documentary that I feel like a lot of people are watching.
Let me guess. I'm going to try Staircase, maybe?
No.
The Father one?
Yes.
What's it called?
Our Father.
All right, tell me about it. I haven't watched any of it. It looks like it could be weird. Let's hear about it.
It is weird. It is about a fertility doctor in I want to say like the 80s, and he was like the fertility doctor to go to.
Was he using his own jizz?
Yes.
He was using his own jizz?
Yes, he was. And Drew, this is the craziest part about this is how the whole thing started out. So it had like words that said something along the lines of what it was about, and then that there was going to be some reenactments and some and like people that were actually there and stuff like that. And the first scene is the back of an old man's head at a desk who's, you can tell, is jerking off. And then it like goes on. Like that was like the first scene of it was like an old man doctor at a desk, just the back of his head,
full
jerking off. Yes.
J-dogging. Let's keep it
J-dogging. Sorry.
Thank you.
I mean,
what? How many episodes is it? Is it just one?
It's just a movie or a documentary.
So people were picking their donors and shit, and then he's just putting his loads in people.
They technically weren't picking their donors. He said that they were all like medical students, and that only there would only be like up to 3 people that they would like inseminate with each donor.
Yeah.
And some people were going in to get their husband's ejaculates put inside of them. And I know. And but so they thought that their dads were their dads, and then what happened is one lady did like a 23andMe, and
Yeah.
she was like, what the hell, like why do I have all these like
Yeah.
offshoots, like what are
L-
these, and then
little
found
did
out
he
that
know.
she um
No, I meant that little did the doctor know that 23andMe would come around and
oh no,
fucking just burn his
exactly,
ass.
exactly. um and there was 12 or 14 siblings, and then I think they are up to like 90 something now. And there could
90 of his
be,
dude's kids.
yeah,
Is he
and there
alive
could
still?
be, yeah. And this is the craziest part about it. He didn't go to jail for this. There was really no criminal charges that he could be brought up
That's when a new
on.
law gets made up, guys, and you go, "Hey, what you did's fucked up," and you go to
Yeah,
jail, and we'll figure out what it was later. Like,
exactly.
just because there's not a law in the books doesn't mean that it's not like fucked up and illegal.
Yeah,
The law's the law's bogus, Tara.
I
Let's just be
know. Like
honest.
one of the prosecutors of it was on, and he was like, they wanted me to bring up these charges, but there was nothing I could do, and he just kind of seemed like an asshole. Um, but yeah, it was definitely an interesting watch for sure.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the greatest, but it was kind of
So
it
90
was definitely,
kids.
yeah.
I'm actually
And
surprised
like,
it's not higher.
well, and like I said, some of the people thought that their dad was their dad, and all of a sudden they did like a 23andMe just to like learn more about their
Like
family.
that's the fucked up one. Those ones are
Yeah,
fucked up.
yeah,
Like when it's like, oh, I thought it was just some medical student. Yeah, that's not awesome. But you
it's
didn't know the person
terrible.
anyway. You didn't know the person anyway. So that it's borderline similar. But when you think it's your dad's your dad and it's not, that's fucked up.
Yeah,
That's fucked up.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else that was, because I feel like I was gonna say something else and I don't remember now.
About it.
Yeah,
Whatever. I'll have to check it out. I'm glad it's just one. I don't feel like watching a
yeah. I mean, it's disturbing, but like
full
they
deal
do they do little things like the guy jerking off to where it would like made it
where it's really
like, it
funny.
was like, what the hell is this? This is crazy.
Yeah, like it's almost like I made it. Like, let's
Yeah.
get the old man jerking off.
Yeah,
We need the
exactly.
old man jerking. We need the old man jerking off if it's gonna be legit.
Yeah. They have to
True. We
see
don't
that
need.
it
We don't
actually
need.
happened.
We can just tell him. What's the point of a reenactment then? He's
Right.
jerking off in this fucking movie.
Well, that's the craziest part about it is he literally, because like the jizz had to be like a certain temperature, so it had to be done like while they were there. So they're like, is this like a weird, what is this? Like, is this a weird sexual thing? And he would go in when he was still like at an aroused state to then like put in the jizz.
What?
I mean, the more I talk about it, the more fucked up I realize it is.
It's insane. I gotta
It's
watch it.
terrible. It's
I gotta
terrible.
watch it. So that is your. We'll say that's your pick of the week. Tara's pick of
Yeah.
the week.
Yeah.
Daddy, Grandpa Jizz.
Mm.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, but it is. I mean, it is.
Oh, it is. It's
Like
absolutely
it's insane.
terrible.
Like it's insane.
Yeah.
It's bonkers.
Yes.
It's terrible, but it's insane. Just the way they did it. I gotta.
The
see
way
it.
they did it. It's crazy.
So okay,
He was
okay.
trash.
So that's one. That's one thing you watch.
Yeah.
You also watched Rounders. We'll go to Rounders now. So it seems like you want to talk about Rounders.
Oh, we can
Rounders
do
isn't
another.
as silly. So Rounders. So you didn't know anything about Rounders, right? How stressed out did Rounders make you?
Okay. So
Because
when
I know it did.
I know when I
Tara
just
don't do. Tara will stop watching an entire series if one scene makes her a little uncomfortable.
yes. So this was a hard one for me because when I went in and I just read the description of the movie and it said that a law student lost his life savings playing poker or something, and I
Yeah.
was like, why is he making me watch this? Like, this is brutal. So I tried I tried to start watching it like 5 days ago,
Yeah.
and I watched just like a little chunk and I stopped. And then I watched it a couple days later and stopped. And then finally, in true Tara fashion, it was the day before we're recording. So I watched it yesterday.
Yeah.
Let me just say, it was stressful.
Yeah.
Like,
It is stressful.
but then so the first chunk of it is stressful when he loses his money. And then he's like
Yeah.
being a good guy and like it was interesting. And then he gets his friend Worm out of the clink. Is that what they call it?
I don't know. Jail. Yeah.
Jail.
Clink. They might. I
The
don't
clink.
remember. Sure. Unimportant detail.
I
Unimportant
know.
detail. What do they call it? The
know.
clink? Is that what they're
They're
calling the
calling
movie?
it the clink. So these are some of the notes that I had. Matt Damon is so cute. I get
Matt
why
Damon is so cute.
I
He
get
didn't
why
age well though, did he?
I don't know, but I said I get why he's a big movie star. Because Drew,
Okay.
this is a crazy thing. This is kind of like a side note. When I started watching it, I was like, Matt Damon is a huge movie star. How many
Yeah.
movies of his have I seen? Like, because I obviously know who he is. I know movies that he's been in. So I went
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
Guess how many movies of his I've seen.
Tara.
There's 92. There's 92.
He's in 92 movies.
Yes, and some are like.
Are you counting Rounders?
Yeah. No, this was before Rounders, but we can count Rounders now.
Okay, including Rounders, I'm gonna guess you've seen 5.
Less.
How many? What ones?
So, prior to Rounders, I had only seen 2.
What ones? I said. Get to it.
You can't. Okay, you have no guesses. Okay, I'll tell you.
No, I don't know. You don't see shit.
So, Stuck on You.
Oh my god.
And Euro Trip when he just plays the singer.
That's it. Tara, that's it.
That is it.
That is what the This
know.
is crazier to me than the Marvel shit. Because Marvels are an acquired taste. You might not like superhero movies.
Yeah.
Matt Damon's in every kind of movie. He's in everything. So meaning you haven't seen, here's a few movies it means you haven't seen. You haven't seen Good Will Hunting.
Nope.
Correct?
Correct.
You haven't seen Talented Mr. Ripley.
Correct.
Any of the Bourne movies.
No Bournes.
The Martian.
Mm-mm.
These are like mega movies.
Drew, I haven't even seen
that you would
We
like.
Bought a Zoo.
Well, nobody's seen We Bought a Zoo. Nobody's seen We Bought a Zoo.
I know.
Why would I watch We Bought a Zoo? That's the worst title for a movie ever. We Bought a Zoo.
We Bought a Zoo. Yeah.
That's crazy to me. I think that's crazier to me than the Marvel thing.
It was
just
crazy
because
to
over
me
the
too.
course of the years, I feel like you would have seen something.
I couldn't believe it.
And the fact that the two you've seen are Stuck on You and Euro Trip.
And I've seen Stuck on You like multiple times. I just rewatched it.
Something about it is charming.
I mean, they wouldn't make it today, but I'm sure glad it was made.
They definitely wouldn't make it today.
No.
I would say they would not make it today, even though it's good. It's good. It's got a message. Got a nice little message.
And what's that message?
Okay, so that was Matt Damon. We went on a Matt Damon tangent. What after that? What after that?
Okay, so after I realized that, and then I watched it, so then I'm like, oh, I get why he is a movie star, even though I've never seen any of his movies. Another note I had was Edward Norton is a shithead. And
in real life?
No, in the movie. And Worm. Yep, Worm is a shithead, and Matt.
Well, Tara, can I tell you something? His name's Worm. What'd you expect? Everyone calls him. His name is Worm.
Yeah.
He goes by Worm.
His name is.
Guess
Les
what he
Murphy,
gonna do?
Worm.
That's like it's not even like a secret. It's like, yo, I'm a fucking worm.
Yeah. But he was a shithead, and all the scenes with him in it, I could barely stand.
The scene where they're at the playing poker with the police.
Drew, I had to pause that probably I wrote a note down on how many times I paused it. I didn't.
Yeah.
I just said I had to pause when Worm showed up at the card game. I kept pausing, and then I'd stop, and then I'd pause, and then and
How
then
long do you
it
think it took you to
says,
watch this movie?
oh, well, days, because I started it days ago, and I had to
Once
like
you really
go.
got into it, though, once you really started
Okay,
going.
once I got into it, because it's like a 2-hour movie, it probably took me at least 2.5.
It's insane.
I know. But I
It's
just,
insane.
and I'm like, come on, Tara, you can do this. You have to watch it. You just have to like push through, persevere. And I did. And I watched it. Um, the ending scene where he had the $10,000 from his professor. His
Yeah.
professor, by the way, when he didn't show up for court and he showed up late and then did a bad job, his professor was so disappointed in him, and I felt very bad for Matt Damon. But I also was like, you're the one that told him to kind of be a poker player.
Yeah, his
So,
professor kind of like can't even be mad at him. Like, you kind of like
no.
we're like pulling for him to be a poker player. Like, you're like, why be another lawyer? Like, fuck
Right.
lawyers. It's kind of the vibe I was getting from him, you
That
know?
was definitely the vibe because he was
Right?
like,
It's like everyone can be a lawyer. You're something else. You can be
you
something
have
different.
something special.
Not that being a poker player is special, but
No,
he's gonna
but
go do the fucking World Series of Poker. And this was
yeah.
before the World Series of Poker was like popular. It made poker pretty popular. Tara, this was like one of those movies where like pretty like college boys were watching this like every weekend
Oh,
together.
yeah.
Like it was like right before this was it was like Swingers before that, and what was another one? I'm blanking on the name of it with Ben Affleck, and they do like money shit. Why can't I think what it's called? Boiler Room is what it's
Mm.
called. And then there was obviously this movie. It was just like this was the movie college boys played. They would have it on while they played poker.
Oh, gross.
They put it on one time while we were playing poker. I'm like, this is so lame. This is
So
lame as
lame.
shit.
Yeah.
Dude, it was so God, it was lame. It was like, God, this is so stupid. I played poker for a while. It's kind of fun, and then I was like, this isn't fun. This isn't
Hmm.
fun. Especially since we just played with our friends. It's like, why are we taking each other's money? This is stupid. So that was poker. That was
My only
Rounders.
other take
Oh,
on Rounders is John Malkovich. John,
yeah, he
is
said
that
it.
his name? John
John.
Malkovich?
Yeah.
John, it sounded weird in my mouth. Um,
It sounds weird. It does sound weird in your mouth. Melkovich.
yeah,
Melkovic.
Malkovich. Malkovich. He was awesome.
Yeah, he's a
He is such a
his accent is
character.
pretty ridiculous, really, but he is really fun in it. Like
Oh yeah,
that's a
like the
great scene.
Oreo
Do you like
thing.
the end? How do you like how it ended there? Like when he figured out his tell?
Yeah, I was like, oh,
That's the big
I
pet
don't
peeve
think
for
I
every.
know what his tell is.
Well,
Or is it just that he listens to his Oreo?
no, it's he eats it or he doesn't eat it. It's that simple.
Oh,
Tara,
oh,
that's a lot
okay.
of pet peeves for people. It's like, oh, he's this great poker player, but he every single like it took that long for someone to figure out when he eats the Oreo, he's got a good hand, and when he doesn't, he's bluffing. Like
Right.
that's a big pet peeve for people. It's stupid. It might be I don't
Oh,
remember what it was. I think that's what it was. I don't remember which was which. So let's
but there
hear it.
was a lot of
What do we rate it?
hmm. I think most people would give it 2 thumbs,
To
maybe.
what?
I'm gonna get thumbs. I'm gonna say it was good, but it stressed me out too much. So I'll just give it 1.
One thumb. One thumb from
Yeah.
Tara. Everyone else might like 2 thumbs, she's thinking.
Yeah,
But you liked it. It was other than it stressing you
I
out, you
did.
thought it was interesting. I mean, the acting in
Yeah,
it's
I
really
thought it
good.
was
It's one of those really
fun.
well
The
acted
acting is
movies.
so good.
Like that
Yeah.
was Ed Norton, kind of like his hate. That was his hate. He was like in Fight Club around the same time, kind
Yeah.
of when he was owning it and kind of breaking onto the scene. He was in American History X around then too. So
Maybe it deserves more than a thumb. Like it had some really fun scenes in it, like when they were in
thumb and a
Atlantic.
pinky, maybe.
A thumb and a pinky, because when they were in Atlantic City, like that was a fun scene.
Yeah.
It's just anytime Worm was on, I was like, get out of here.
Yeah, he was bad news for. Because the thing is, he didn't have any. He wasn't good at it. He was a good con man, but
No.
not even that good at being a con man. He's a terrible poker player.
Yes.
He took too many risks. Matt Damon wasn't taking risks. He was math. It was all, he knew all the angles. He was really good at it.
Yeah.
Cool. So a thumb and a pinky for that one.
Yeah.
I needed to sip on some soda pop there. Can you
I'll take a soda break too.
Putting the cap back on. We're an unofficial Pepsi Max podcast. Yep. We're not the first Pepsi Max podcast. I'll tell you that right now.
No, we're not.
I'm gonna say right now. No, they'll never hear it, but oh yeah, dude, is my favorite podcast of all time. There's almost 900. There's over 900 episodes of it now. I've been listening to it for a decade. They're like the OGs
Insane.
of podcasting.
They really are.
I think their first 2008, I think, is when they started. And it's just never been there's been a couple guest hosts, one guest host, which has been one of their moms. Otherwise, it's just the two of them shooting the shit. Kind of what we want to do here. I don't think we'll ever have a guest on this show.
No.
Maybe we'll do something else for that, but for this itself, no. Because I think it's just I enjoy that podcast. I love it, and they drink Pepsi Max as well. It's Pepsi Zero Sugar now. Yeah. It's still the Max to us though. We're Maxinistas.
Yeah, always.
So guys, if it's too much to ask to listen to just our podcast, listen to Oh Yeah, Dude. It's legit.
It's so good. I laugh out loud every time.
Yeah, it makes me laugh like heartily. And not a lot of things make me laugh. That sounds wrong. I laugh a lot, but they like legit make me belly laugh where I'm like, man, they're fucking funny. Like they're funnier than me, which I don't think often because I'm full of myself. Tara, by the way, coming at you from a COVID house.
Oh, that was one of my grievances.
That's your grievance? Is that you're coming from? Go ahead with it. Yeah, Tara's coming at you from a COVID house.
Yeah. So one of my grievances is COVID because it's still a thing.
It's still here, yeah.
It's still here, and it canceled my beach vacation. So but I'm being an asshole because I don't have it yet, but my mom does, and she's feeling all right, but shitty at the same time.
Feeling a little shitty, yeah. So, yeah, she's not like not knocking her on her ass, but she doesn't feel awesome.
Yep. So
and does it feel like you're all prisoners in your own house?
Yeah.
Because you're all kind of stuck there.
Yeah, basically, Dad's downstairs. I'm in my room. And Mom's in her room. I'm trying to not be in the same room as Dad too much since they were
sleeping in the same bed.
Yep, smooching on each other's lips. Ooh. So it's an interesting reaction. So
that's a kiss.
Yeah,
kiss
that's
noise.
Oh,
it's fast kisses.
So that is definitely my grievance, and it actually. This is a really fun segue. But since I don't get to be on the beach,
yeah,
I started thinking about beach movies.
Okay, cool.
And I wanted to know your top 3 favorite movies that take place at the beach.
Top 3 favorite movies that take place at the beach. Ooh. Well, I guess that's pretty easy for me. For number 1, it's Point Break. Point Break's the shit. It's it's maybe one of my top 3 movies, just 3 movies in general all time. Point Break. I love Point Break.
It's so good.
Dude, buff, slim in shape dudes, just looking good. And then bank robberies, man. Slim dudes looking good in bank robberies. I don't know what else you could ask for. That's one of those 80s movies. Action movies where I show it to like girls I date or you, my sister, that you like it. Like it's an action movie. Like that's they dig it. And I think it's because of the hot dudes in it. I think it's because Keanu
Oh,
looks great. And then obviously
kind of looks.
Pat Swayze he's like 40 in it and looks phenomenal. He's a few years older than me and looks 20 years younger than me. He's Patty Swayze. I think we got the same locks though.
Oh yeah,
You probably
definitely have the
this
same
probably clip isn't going
locks.
on the internet, so no one will see my locks. Some point we'll probably put this up. That's number one. I got to think of two more beach movies. Shit. Movies that take place at the beach. I can't think of a ton of them, Tara, to be quite honest. Beach movie.
Do you want me to give you some hints of some that I was thinking
Well,
of?
let's hear yours, and maybe that'll help me out. Because I can't think of any beach movies. At least ones I like.
So, Blue Crush.
I would say
was
you're gonna
one
say
of my
Blue
tops.
Crush and Aquamarine.
Yeah, I have both of those.
Yes.
And Point Break.
And
Those
Point
are
Break?
my
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Those are good.
You know me.
Point
you
Break,
know me.
Aquamarine, and Blue Crush. Hell yeah.
But um, but then I had some honorable mentions.
Wait.
Jaws
I
was
got mine.
one.
Oh, Jaws. Jaws is
Oh.
on my list. And then my third one is
Mhm.
going to be Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yes, I had that on my honorables too.
Those are my top three in that order. Unless I'm forgetting something. But those are, yeah, those are good. Those are your two honorable mentions.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty good list. We had one crossover, and the honorable mentions are crossovers too for you. I will say one mention, Old, the movie Old
Oh.
by M. Night Shyamalan,
Oh.
where people get old on the beach, might be the worst beach movie I've ever seen. I made Miranda watch it, and she wanted to fucking kill me afterwards. She's like, "This is the worst movie I've ever seen. It is so bad. It makes zero to no sense. It is terrible. M. Night Shyamalan, keeps it up, really putting out turds nonstop at this point in his career. I wanted to see it because here's the thing: is he has a ton of concepts that are kind of interesting. Like, oh,
Right.
this is a fun concept. But then it ends up sucking. Part of it is the acting in it. He doesn't get the best out of his actors. I don't know, man. M. Night Shyamalan. I'm a huge fan of Sixth Sense and Signs and The Village, which a lot of people hate The Village, but I like The Village a lot.
It's so good.
People like put that in the category of his bad ones, but I do not.
What about Castaway?
Oh, damn. Castaway might bump Sarah Marshall off. It does. I do love Castaway. I can watch Castaway just anytime. Sarah Marshall I can watch anytime too, though. Those four movies I could throw on it and at any moment and just enjoy it till the end.
Hey, Drew, did you know some people say I look like Mila Kunis?
No, you've told me this, I think, once. It's bullshit.
I've heard it. Jimmy just said it when he was here.
Where, how? First of all, she is definitely got a different skin tone. Maybe
she's like olive skin.
Yeah, that's a different skin tone than whitey white girl.
Yeah.
It could be the eyes,
How
maybe?
about this?
You have big eyes like her? You don't have this?
How about just
Oh, Mila. There you are. It's like it's like when I'm in Hook when he's like, Jack. Or Peter. There you are, Peter.
There you are, Peter.
When he's like moving the face. I'd have to smush your face a little bit like him. And then we could maybe say Mila Kunis.
Oh, there you are.
There you are, Mila.
I love it.
Holy shit. That's a pretty good beach movie. I feel like they're at the beach kind of in that. They're on an island.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird that Steven Spielberg made that movie and he also made Saving Private Ryan? That's a good beach movie too. The first scene's on the beach. It's pretty intense.
That's also a Matt Damon movie that I have not seen.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. Shit. It's funny. There's a lot of beach movies as you really start thinking about it.
I know.
Like I just named them on accident. The beach is obviously you think of the beach, but I never was that big into the beach.
Never
the beach that they go to is a beautiful beach, and like they had to close it because too many like tourists were going to see it because of that movie, and they like destroyed like its like
Oh,
eco show. They closed it, and it's I think fine again, but people aren't allowed to go to it anymore. It's like this little cove, but yeah, so people aren't allowed to go there,
God.
which is crazy. Um, we haven't done. I didn't come up with a list this week to ask to start. I didn't come up with one last week. I just kind of came up with it on the spot, but um, I was gonna say I had an idea, but I just guess it doesn't. I don't know that it translates that well to the podcast. But I guess if you're one of our followers on TikTok, it might. I think it could be funny if each week I have to, or once a month, I have to learn one of the TikTok dance trends and post that
Ooh.
shit, and then fans rate how well I did, or you rate how well I did, or we both do it and we see who's they like better. It could be funny. It doesn't really translate to the podcast. I think we would show the other person while we're on the podcast to get a
Sure.
real reaction. But I don't know. What do you think of that about that? Me starting to do TikTok dances could be funny. Like the hot one at the
Yeah.
moment. Maybe not every week, but or maybe if you see one you like, you're like, hey, can you do this TikTok dance? Some of them are pretty in
Well,
depth, but some.
that means that I would have to actually watch TikToks like you.
I mean, you
which
catch them
don't.
sometimes.
But not really. Whenever I go on TikTok, it like brings up like cooking things for me for some reason.
Interesting.
That's my algorithm.
I don't. Yeah, I guess if no one knows the TikTok, but they're pretty popular. Maybe I'll come
people
TikTok.
like.
But I mean, the people that listen to our podcast, I don't know if any of them even watch TikTok, really.
Well, we might get them to.
I'm not sure. The numbers are saying we're not gonna get them to. Let's do that. I'll learn a TikTok dance for next week. I won't even tell you. I'll surprise you. I will have you look it up. I'll send a couple of them to you, and then I'll send you mine.
I like it.
And then I will post it and be embarrassed.
I like it because I feel like you are a really good dancer when you can just dance what your heart tells you to dance.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
when
I'm a mover and a
somebody
shaker.
like yes, but when you have to do what other people are doing,
yep, I look like shit.
You do. Like you look like you've never danced in your life.
I can't do choreography at all.
Yeah.
No. If I'm on the dance floor, people are like, that dude's fucking rad. He's got cool moves.
Yeah.
But that's just my body just moves. But if I have to think about what I'm going to do, it looks terrible. I cannot do choreography.
Not at all.
That's why I struggle with scripts. Like I can do improv way better than I can do like a script because I have to think about it too much and I'm not good at it. I'm a think on my feet kind of guy. You know, I don't even write notes for this podcast. Pretty clear, obviously. Tara, because I just like to go off the top of my head. I just feel better about it. I don't like to get, I don't like to think about it too much. So, so maybe I'll do. I think that could be funny. TikTok dance. I don't know. I'll have to pick one for the week and have it up and ready for next week. And again, we'll hopefully get fans to vote on it. Either say something on our TikTok or Reels page, or go send us an email at Mellon Fights. Mellon, I'm going to say it again, guys. We've gotten 0 fan emails, which is fine. I'm not the type of person that would ever interact with a podcast via email, but a lot of these places get tons of them. Mellon Fights, MELLONFIGHTS, mellonfights@gmail.com. We'll see. If no one said anything, it's actually funnier, actually. It'd be fun just to keep looking in my email. The only email I get is like, oh, Apple has accepted your podcast.
Oh.
I literally, nothing. There's nothing in there. And you had another grievance?
Yeah.
What's that?
So, have you seen the McDonald's commercial where it's like a little girl and then like she orders something at the counter and it's just like a face on shot. And
gets older.
She gets older and like
it's been around for a while.
Yes.
Yeah, I have.
And then she orders.
She McMuffin.
Yes.
in the morning. Tara, it drives me insane when she's like,
Yes.
the grievance accepted. When she's like,
Yes.
McMuffin things, like she
Yes. She
doesn't
goes,
that
I'll
doesn't know.
have
She
like,
says the name of it, and then
and then
adds a things at the end. Like, I don't know what I'm ordering. I'm a
yes.
dumb bitch. Like, what?
Yes. I
What?
just so right before coming down here, I just saw it again, and every time I see it, it
Yes,
drives me insane because
I
it's like
hate it,
you've
Tara.
been going to McDonald's your entire life. We've
Whole life.
seen that happen. And now you're you don't know that it's just an egg McMuffin without things. Like, what are
Yeah.
you talking
What?
about?
And it's and it's not only that, because here's what it really is. Maybe I feel like she improvised that, or whoever wrote it. They're like, that's what, like, a drunk, they're so hungover that they can't remember what it is called. I'm like,
Yeah,
nah, sorry to tell you, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. You should know
exactly.
exactly, you go in knowing exactly what you want, because you want to get the fuck out of there. Like,
Yes.
egg McMuffin, please. It's like, it's more like 15 egg McMuffins, 15 egg McMuffins. 15 egg McMuffin things. Tara, I'm so happy you said that, because I thought it last night. I saw it last
Really?
night and I was like, I hate this commercial. I hate this fucking commercial. Because every time I don't hate it until then. It gets to that line, I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? They
Yeah.
know it. She knows what it. She said the name of it.
Yeah.
She said it'd been
Uh
interesting if she would have said uh 16 English muffins with egg on it, like, forgot it was called an egg McMuffin, then it, I guess, would have made sense. But she says the name of it.
yeah.
But you're right. She's been going there her whole life and somehow doesn't know what it is because she's a little. She partied hard the night before. Is that the implication?
I mean, that's what I think it is, that she is either hungover or still a little drunk, but still, if you were that, you'd be like, I want some egg McMuffins, biatch!
15
like,
egg
more.
McMuffins. Or you'd even like, you'd actually probably give it a sexy nickname like 16 egg McMuffsters. Like, you know what I mean? That's more likely.
yeah.
Like, worse. Sometimes I don't
Worst.
know how these commercials see the light of day.
No.
Where someone's not like,
And,
fix that. That makes no sense.
yeah.
There was like a, I want to say it was AT&T commercial that drove me
Yep.
nuts. Where
Yes, we talked
she was
about
like,
it all
they
the
showed
time.
a sign and it's like, I can't remember what it was now, but basically it was
I
like,
know.
biggest. It's like, it's the biggest sale. And she goes, it already says biggest. And he goes, and he says this line and it doesn't, it like he says the same thing and then he says the opposite, like something different. It's like, that's not what he said. It's like, bigger.
Yeah.
I said bigger. I'm like, no, bitch, you didn't say bigger. Said,
yeah.
like, you said it wrong. I wish I had the context of it, but
I know.
people know
I
what
know
I'm talking
exactly
about.
what
They did change it at
they
one point.
did.
They changed it
Because
because I
it
think they're
drove.
getting feedback. People are like, what the fuck? Why am I
There's
so
like a
angry
car.
about it?
I don't know, but you are. You are so angry. But
I get fired
there's a.
up.
Have you seen the Carvana commercial where it's like, when do you want us to bring that car? And she's like, I don't know, like Tuesday? And the lady's like,
Yes,
it
that one
is
drives me nuts.
Tuesday.
It's
it's
Tuesday?
like, it's Tuesday? I don't know. Like, I don't remember exactly. We're
Yeah, I
doing a
know.
really
Like,
good
she
job
doesn't know the date.
explaining.
First of all, it's
yeah.
so unimportant and so uncreatively written. Like, it's Tuesday? How about Tuesday? Today's Tuesday. Today it's like, how about Tuesday? Today's Tuesday. Today's Tuesday. What? Today's Tuesday?
It
What?
it's
She just said a
too
random day.
like
How about to say tomorrow? I don't know, tomorrow?
yeah. But I
Tara.
hate it.
I hate it too. It's one of the worst. And then, God, it's the worst. I think she in the over the phone goes, she like, is it Tuesday, right?
Right.
Can't stand that commercial, Tara. These commercials are so bad.
I know.
I remember them though, I guess. Because, and the funny thing is, those commercials are on a lot. All three of them
yes.
that we're talking about. Commercials are rough. Commercials are rough. That's why I prefer streaming. The only reason we see commercials, Tara, is because we like sports.
Yeah.
Like, live sports force us to watch commercials, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Have you seen the Biggie Bag commercial? I
the
love
what?
it.
The what?
It's the Wendy's Biggie Bag.
I don't
And
think I
like
don't know.
they break out into songs like she's got that bag Got the biggie bag.
I don't know if I've
And
seen this
like,
one.
oh my god, I love it. And like the guy takes her order and then he does like this awesome little spin and starts like dancing, and she goes, "Is that a real song?" And it stops and he's like, I think she liked it." It's like not a great commercial, but I love it. It's a great commercial.
So it's a you like the Biggie Bag commercial. I'll have to
Yeah.
be on the lookout
Mhm.
for it. I don't think I've seen the Biggie Bag commercial. A hell of a grievance. I'm with you 100% on it.
Good.
Um, did we miss? Is there any sports stuff that we miss? Like we only talked NBA this week. Was there anything in sports that we missed? I mean, baseball's going
Oh,
on. We already talked about that. Here's the thing: is like the other sports going on. We were so into the NBA, it was hard for us to even pay attention to baseball and hockey, which we don't really watch. I used to watch baseball all the time. I don't watch hockey. There was a point in my life where I watched hockey a little bit, but I don't know
um
that anything interesting happened in sports this week.
so I wrote down that the football schedule was released,
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, that's
and
big.
I just, it's big, but it's like
It's not big.
not.
I was being
But like they
sarcastic.
try, oh, because they like try to make it big. Like it was funny because they would like do like little like mini teasers and release
Yeah,
like a game here and there. I'm like, is this really
or like
like getting
holidays
people
and shit.
excited? Yeah. And
Yeah, I don't
then
understand it. Who cares
and
about
then
the
I
schedule coming out? Because you have no idea what team's actually going to be good for the year. You never know when it
right.
starts.
And it was funny because I saw then after it came out, like people posting like the schedule and like their predictions on win losses. And I'm like, people do this? Like, how? Why?
Right. Yeah, it's
Like,
super stupid. Like, oh, the NFL, you know, schedule's coming. I was like, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care unless
right.
like you're trying to go to a game. Like, oh,
Sure.
this is a game I'm going to try to go to. But people are like,
Mm-hmm.
there's people that aren't going to go to a game, and then there's like kind of like analyzing all the games. Like, this is an exciting game. And like this, I'm like, no, it ain't. You have no idea
Right.
what's going to. First of all, when it gets to that game, someone's probably going to be hurt at that point. You have no idea if it's
Definitely.
going to be worth our time at all. You know,
Right.
someone's quarterback goes down, someone's running back goes down. We have no idea. When the first week starts, it just isn't. The NFL schedule coming out is important to two people, are important to the players and the team. That's it. And then like
Mm-hmm.
the people who cover those teams. Like, okay, I'm gonna have to be this. Let's go to this game because it's a big market versus a big market. That's really it. It's like big markets versus big markets, you know. But yeah, it's like the least uninteresting. It's like so uninteresting. I didn't even look. I didn't even look to see who plays when because I don't care.
Oh,
Like the Cowboys are gonna play 17 games. I'm sorry, and over the course of 18 weeks, and I don't care what who like they're gonna play their division a total of 6 times and a bunch of other players. Like I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch every game that's televised, or I'm gonna watch Red Zone. I'm gonna watch. I don't care who's playing who. It's the NFL. That's the NFL has this beautiful built-in thing where it doesn't matter who's playing. You're gonna watch it.
yeah.
It all works. It just works. So who cares about the schedule? You know, who
I
cares?
agree.
You're gonna watch.
And I'm a Red Zone fan overall. So,
Yeah, Tara wants
so I,
if anyone can, we're trying to find like a nice red zone
yes.
hat. Tara doesn't want to wear a team hat anymore. She wants to start
No.
wearing a red zone hat, NFL
Yes.
red zone, because it's cooler. Because that's what she's actually a fan of, is
Yes.
the
I'm
red
a
zone.
fan of, it's my favorite. I
So
don't have a team anymore. I don't really care, but I do love me some football, and the red zone
I think
is
the
where
nice
it's
thing about the
at.
red zone is she can also like disconnect from like singular players as well. Like, oh well, yeah, like it's because there's so many shitheads in the NFL that are like abusers and have done other bullshit, and she can kind of separate herself if she just likes the red zone. She just likes the game. She doesn't. She likes it for the. She's it's the love of the game.
It's the
She
love
loves
of
the
the
sweet
game.
science that is the NFL.
I do.
So
The only other NFL, well, there was, I know we're cutting close on
no, we're
time,
fine.
but all
We
right.
don't have a time limit,
Um,
Tara.
all right. All right. I don't know. I don't know.
It's podcasts. We go all day.
There, like Drew Brees, he put out a tweet that said that he isn't for sure if he's going back to NBC. He might, or he might play football, or he might do all these different things. And people took it as like, oh my God, is Drew Brees going to come back? And it's like, no, he was goofing. Like, that guy can't throw the football anymore. Like, what are you talking about? And
Right.
and now people are like, is this, or is there meaning behind this? It's like, no. He said he might join like a pickleball tournament, the pro pickleball tournament. Like, why is
He'd
this a
probably be awesome at
topic of?
that. He'd probably be awesome at that.
No. So
Yeah, I don't know. People like have hope. People still think Barry Sanders is going to unretire and play. They
yeah,
don't, but they did for like 10 years. For like 10 years, they're like, oh, Barry's coming back, baby.
Barry's got
Barry's
the
coming
best
back.
laugh.
Barry Sanders?
Yeah,
I love Barry Sanders.
he's awesome.
Yeah, he is awesome. Anyone who hasn't, so here's our pick of the week for you to go watch, and it's Barry Sanders highlights on YouTube. They're insane.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
was phenomenal. Not for you. This is for everyone else. Not you. You're watching a movie.
What?
You're watching
What?
Spider-Man, I've decided. P.S.
Okay.
I just, it doesn't make any sense that you haven't seen the first Spider-Man. It works. And you're going to feel nostalgic about it. Even though you haven't seen it, it's going to make you feel nostalgia.
Okay.
Just because of Toby and Kirsten, and
Kirsten.
it's good. It's a good movie. You'll see. It's different than Marvel movies today.
Okay.
They're a lot different now. So you're going to be watching Spider-Man. I'm going to be learning a TikTok dance. I don't know why I did this to myself. It was stupid. I should back out.
Nope.
TikTok till you don't stop.
I'm excited.
I hate that I'm going to post it. That's the part I don't like.
Why?
Not because I don't want to be the person that posts TikTok dances. Like it's going to be like, oh, look at him trying to be TikTok famous doing TikTok dances, and it's more like I'm making fun of it.
I think it's what you said first.
No, is it? No, I don't. Yeah. I can't do them. It's gonna be so bad.
I'm very excited. I really am.
You don't even know what I'm gonna do.
I don't care. I know it's gonna be good.
There's a big one right now that goes something like, my money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds.
My what?
My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds. Something. Dribble dribble. Sitting in my top back. I don't know. It's like basically it's like a white dude that was in an interview like, oh, I rapped once or twice, and then he did it, and then someone like auto-tuned it. And it's everywhere. It's fucking everywhere, and everyone, it's like, oh my God. I hate it.
Well, I'm excited to see it.
I'll have you look it up. So you know what I might do that one. We'll see. That's like one of the longer ones. So I'm probably,
it might be tough for you.
Like it's long. It's a long. There's a lot of moves and steps, and I've seen different versions of it. And there's one version that's better than others. Man, so TikTok dance, and you're gonna watch Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's about it for me this week. I don't have a ton. Hopefully the family doesn't get too COVID sick.
I know.
Hopefully you and Dad. I don't see how Dad could avoid it, to be honest. Like they like sleep inches from each other, but it happens. Couples, like one person will get it and one person won't. You know.
It happened with Miranda's parents.
Yeah, one of them got it, one of them didn't. They sleep together. Mm-hmm. So we shall see. And hopefully Mom doesn't get too sick.
Yeah,
I think she's doing all right though.
She's doing all right.
Thoughts and prayers, guys. Thoughts and prayers.
But for real.
No.
Send her some love.
Yeah, send her love. There you go. Hey, Jeannie, feel better. So yeah, I think that's a good stopping point right there. Unless you had anything you wanted to add before we bounce out of here. You're going to watch Spider-Man. Oh wait, was there anything else? Oh, you gave me, you told us about the what's it called? The documentary. There was something I wanted to tell everybody about to watch. I can't remember what it was now. You know what? I don't remember, but I will say this. The other night I watched 3 more episodes of Old Enough with the young kids going on errands.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I'm just going to reiterate. If you haven't watched any of it yet, guys, get to it. It is so fun. It is hilarious. These kids are out of control and they're so sweet. And it just is really enjoyable. It's so weird. And it's from 2008. The crazy thing is it's from 2008 is when they first made it. And it doesn't feel old. It feels fresh. Old enough.
It was in 2008? That's crazy.
Yeah. You see, right at the very beginning of 2008, it comes up. It's like, I decided it almost feels like if, you know, when you're watching like Sesame Street or Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and then there's they'll like jump to something that was pre-recorded, like that's like out in the world. It's not on Sesame Street. It feels like something like that, where it's like on a show, and then they popped that up in the middle, like, oh, this week we have an Old Enough where we send little kids on a errand, sort of thing. That's what it feels like. So please watch it on Netflix. It's funny that's what I came up with.
I know.
And I know, Taryn, you watched Heartstoppers.
Yeah, I didn't watch all of it, but I watched some of it.
You stopped?
I was like having weird heart palpitations, because it was.
It's called Heartstoppers.
It was stressing.
Heartstoppers was stressing you out?
Yes.
Oh my God, Tara, it's so unstressful.
No.
You know what I like about Heartstoppers is they have like those weird things that like romantic comedies or like Friends would have, where it's like there's a misunderstanding and they almost usually solve it. I don't know, that same episode. Like they don't fuck around. Like it wasn't like a thing that like just kept dragging on. Like there was they pretty much kind of would solve it right away. Do you know what I mean?
How many episodes is it?
I want to say 8.
I probably have seen half.
Well, watch the rest of it.
Okay, I will. I loved it.
Has he come out yet?
No.
He hasn't even come out yet?
No.
Jesus, Tara, come on. So these are repeats. Everyone, if you watch Heartstoppers, they're old enough. Get to it.
Yeah, I'll get to it.
And Point Break, baby. If you ain't seen Point Break, you ain't living.
Yeah.
I looked in the camera for that one. And again, no one will probably see that because I'm going to use this clip. But Point Break, baby. Watch it now.
Mm-hmm.
Point Break. All right, T.
All right,
have a Tuesday.
You have a Tuesday.
You have a damn Tuesday.
You too have a Tuesday.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Mellon fights.
Mellon fights.